Hi YouTube, it's Kathy, and joining me today is my friend Sarah.
Hi, I'm from The Princess and the Scrivener.
You've seen the princess on this channel, and now you are seeing the Scrivener. Well, you've seen them both before, but you've seen the princess talk about books with me before, and now you are seeing the Scrivener.
Yes. Paige reads a lot more books than I do, but I managed to read some this year, so that was great.
I'm a very good influence on people.
Yes, very, very much so.
So I do a segment on this channel called Buddy Read Book Review, where I will force another person to read the same 2 books as me, and then we will talk about them. So over on Sarah's channel, we've already talked about Geekarella, and today we are talking about Queens of Geek. One of the things that we like to do, because otherwise these videos will go forever, will be a nightmare to edit, and also, you know, I gotta go to work, is we like to set a timer and go.
Starting.
Alright, so a quick synopsis of this is 3 friends, 2 romances, and 1 convention, and that's a pretty good synopsis.
Yeah.
We've got 3 friends who are traveling from Australia to the United States to go to something called SuperCon, which is basically a giant comic book convention. We've got a couple of point of view characters. We've got Charlie, an independent film actress, and she's there promoting her movie, and then we've got Taylor, who is one of her 2 friends, who is awesome, and I love her. But she's got huge social anxiety, and she's at the con specifically to meet her favorite author.
You did a way better job describing that book than I did describing Geekarella, which is...
I mean, like, as soon as you say Cinderella retelling, people know what you're talking about, so you don't even have to say anymore, but when you do, people are like, sure, cool.
Fair enough.
We both read this, we both loved this. I read this in 1 day.
It took me a couple days to finish it, but I was like reading it when I was on vacation in England, but it was adorable. I really liked the point of view changes.
Yeah, me too.
That's another thing that it had in common with Geekarella. It switched between 2 characters. I liked that.
I liked that they were both at the same event, and they're both friends, and they're both excited about the one event, but as cons are, like, they got separated, they had their own things going on.
And because Charlie has all of this film promotion stuff to do, she's got a completely different experience than somebody who's, like, on the floor almost all the time, like Taylor is.
2 different points of view of the same thing. I really love when authors are able to pull that off.
Yeah, and I liked that they also would meet back up in their hotel room, and like they weren't just, you know, 3 people traveling together. You could really tell that they were friends. Like they had plans to move to California after they graduate from high school. They were all so young. They were babies, and like that was another thing of like, I'm a 23-year-old person, and some of these things just aren't things I think about anymore. But you're all babies. Speaking of how young Charlie is a YouTuber and somehow has amassed 1 million subscribers? What the hell does she make? What kind of content is she doing?
Kind of maybe like an Anna Akana type of thing, like she is talking about like the fact that she does act and that type of thing, but like talks about whatever she wants to talk about, especially because when she does a collab with somebody later in the book, like they just pull up a random tag to do. So it's not like they did a sit-down interview type thing.
Relatable.
Yeah.
That was so relatable. The way that being a YouTuber was portrayed in this is actually, there was a lot of it that was pretty accurate, that I felt like, this is me. Yes, I agree. But then there were also things where like social media came into play, and I felt like, this doesn't sound like somebody who actually uses these platforms. It sounds like somebody trying to sound like they use it. Taylor writes pretty consistently, like in a diary style format on Tumblr. It's not the way that she writes that so much bothered me. It was like the way she used hashtags like in the blog post that didn't quite sit well with me. The thing about Anna Akana is that like she's been making videos for years, and I don't understand, like, I'm not saying that it's impossible. Like, it's certainly possible for teenagers to have very successful YouTube channels, but the amount of content she must be generating, like, to be able to amass 1 million subscribers before she graduates from high school just seems off.
Yeah, literally everybody I've talked to about this who also YouTubes is just like, yeah, that makes no sense.
No, it doesn't. I mean, like, okay.
I mean, it's another suspension of disbelief thing, really.
Yes. I mean, like, you get into like a couple 100,000 or even tens of thousands. That would have been more realistic, but I guess that's not as interesting as saying, she's just got 1 million subscribers, it's no big deal. But like the way that it was talked about was like, it's just 1 million subscribers, it's no big deal. And I'm like, yes, it is. It's a huge deal. But a lot of the other YouTube stuff was very intensely relatable. Some of the other YouTube stuff was not relatable, like her personal assistant uploading the wrong fucking video.
Do you not do your own work? Like,
right? what? I'm like, you're 18 goddamn years old. You can't upload a video by yourself and do the metadata and shit. Like, I live for that stuff.
Not to mention, like, a tag video like that shit should be edited down. You should be adding maybe a music track if that's your thing. Yeah, there's no way that they just filmed that and then were like, yeah, that's perfect to upload.
Yeah, that's ready. No, that's not how any of this works. The other funny thing was that, like, going to VidCon this year really, like, let me know, you want to do all these collabs with people, but you just have to think of 2 ideas for every single person and channel that you want to do a collab with. You have to think of something for your channel, and you have to think of something for their channel. They did one thing for her channel, and I'm like, this is fake.
Yeah, you need to film something else for the other person's channel. That's how it works.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there were lots of things about YouTube in here that I felt very much, like, as far as her not wanting to talk a lot about her personal life on her channel was, like, something I really felt, because it's like, it's not anybody's business. And
if it's not relevant to the content you're making, then, like, why would you?
Yeah,
unless you really needed to talk about it.
I mean, like, those quips about YouTubing aside, I really, really enjoyed the book. It was a very simple story. It was very easy to follow. I really cared about the characters. They were all really nice. And it was fun to watch them, like, find these ways that they were happy and get that happiness. And, oh my god, Charlie's so gay. I loved it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
that was a good surprise. I was like, oh, you like her. Okay, fantastic.
Charlie was bi, and I loved that. I loved the thing with Alyssa. Did I send you that fan art I found on Twitter?
No, but you should.
My girlfriend, like, found fan art of this, and she also read it, and so she sent it to me, and she's like, look, it's Charlie and Alyssa, and I'm like, ah! So I will have to send it to you.
Thank you.
Alyssa, I loved particularly, I think my favorite part in the book as far as, like, the writing goes was the scene after they have their date and they're lying in bed together. And Charlie says that she feels like she's constantly buzzing. She feels trapped when she's not in motion. And yet here, in this, like, particular morning, just lying there with Alyssa, just enjoying cuddling with her, she feels like peace and being still. And I was like, that's so gay and I love it. It's so good.
Yep.
And I also, like, I felt that on a personal level because, like, I have ADHD, and so, like, my body and brain kind of constantly feels like it's buzzing. For her to say that and then kind of have this thing where she's just like, and so it was just really nice to be still. I'm like, I get this so hard.
I found that there was a lot of great rep in this book. So bi rep, which was like, yay, we exist, and it's great. And you've talked, and like a character talking about how she had just been in a relationship with a man, and now she is trying to form a relationship with a woman. Like, I was like, hurrah! But then you also had neurodiversity rep, and I was like, you're actually going to talk about this girl getting diagnosed on the autism spectrum?
Yeah.
Yes!
The conversations with the illustrator that Taylor met, who is autistic, was so good. It was a good book as far as representation goes. I loved the part where Charlie is like, Charlie's living that YouTube dream. She's got 1 million subscribers, and now she's getting to go on a date with this YouTube crush of hers. I'm like, girl, you are having a good year. Taylor getting to meet the author was great. I loved that whole storyline. I loved how it played out.
Yeah, and the author just being like any other awkward human is just like, yes, this is accurate.
Yeah, especially having gone to, like, VidCon this year and gotten to meet so many of the people that I've been watching for all of these years. That really resonated with me as far as her being like, I thought that she would be this big scary person, but actually she wrote this nerdy thing and turns out she's a nerd too! And I'm like, that is usually how it works. It was an adorable story. It was really enjoyable to read. I liked that Chase never got to a point where, like, he really ruined something in the story. He was just annoying. He was just an annoying straight boy.
He was definitely there to be that character that you just want to punch in the face.
Because,
oh my
god.
There are people out there like him. I've met them before. How do you exist?
Mm-hmm.
How do you... In this day and age, how do you not understand so many things about the world?
There was that part where he gets drunk, and first of all, he's not 21. In the United States, like, he is not legally allowed to be drunk. And so that was really frustrating that, like, none of them wanted to call security. I'm like, fuck that! Call security! And then nobody else was like, no, don't do that. Like, it's fine. And I'm like, no, it's not. He could be arrested. Like, arrest him! Like, but I'm very vindictive and petty, so. Where Chase punches Jamie, I think I might have texted you about this, where, like, he punches him, and then Jamie doesn't fight back, and he's like, I don't want to give him the satisfaction, I'm better than that, and I, like, texted you, and I'm like, I cannot relate to this content, like.
Yeah, I remember that text.
Punching somebody back who assaults you is not is not stooping to their level. It's, I will knock your lights out, and I don't care.
It's interesting how both of these books had, you know, a punching out scene. There are so many similarities between these books. It's kind of wonderful.
It was really fun to read them back to back. I really enjoyed reading both of them. Queens of Geek was definitely a simpler storyline. It was definitely easier to remember all of the stuff that happens, but that doesn't mean that one is better than the other. I enjoyed both of them.
Yay, getting people to read things.
We've reached the end of our timer. Do you have
Okay.
anything else to say about the book?
I love the cover art. It's cute, it's fluffy. I freaking loved it. It made me cry.
Oh, what part made you cry?
I think the anxiety and neurodiversity scene that we already talked about in the Artist Alley, like that part made me cry.
So, thank you for getting me to read these books.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
A million subscribers! That's... I'm still mad.
Like this video if you think 1 million subscribers by the time you're 17 is ridiculous.
Unrealistic.
Like I mentioned, we did film another video over on the Princess of the Scrivener channel where we talked about Geekarellas, so be sure to check that out. Obviously, links down below. So if you've read this book, let us know what you thought about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you later. Bye. Maybe that shouldn't go in the video.
Edit the fucking video. Don't let your personal assistant upload this video, Kathy.
I'll see what I can do about that.
It was the most unrealistic part in the book, but whatever.